Today, I want to share about what a year of grief has taught me and how I've been working to better support my spouse and my kids emotionally. And hopefully, this helps you in your daily walk as a spouse and a parent. Hey everyone, I'm Liz Sword, and welcome to my channel where I share about my life as a working stay at home mom and wife in hopes that this inspires you to share your story and pursue your dreams along the way. Last week was the 1 year anniversary of my daughter Zariah's death, and it was one hell of a roller coaster ride for me and my family. This year, I've dealt with grief and postpartum depression and the guilt of even having both. I'm sure many of you can relate, but I grew up in a very tough love home and culture. So to say things like I have depression or anxiety is a sign of weakness, and it's almost kind of frowned upon. But for me, having kids who have to deal with grief and the loss of a sister, as a mom, the last thing I want to see is my kids hurt. So this past year, I had to do everything that I could to alleviate their pain. So what I've learned, and am still learning after a year of grief, is how to be comfortable with feelings, especially my kids and my husband's. As humans, we get so uncomfortable when it comes to dealing with feelings like grief and sadness. And I learned that this is why we sometimes say the weirdest things to people who are grieving or people who are depressed. We'll say things like, well, at least she's in a better place, or, well, at least you're still alive. We say these kinds of things to make ourselves feel less awkward. And I can honestly say that I've done this. It has taken me a lot of adjusting mentally and emotionally to try to be a better support for my husband and my kids while still learning how to deal with myself. But what pushes me the most to continue to find ways to help my family, especially my kids, deal with their emotions is that I don't want to lose a child to suicide. We live in a different time where there's cyberbullying and isolation due to the pandemic, and possibly emotional abuse from those who are closest to us. Growing up believing that I need to be strong all the time or not show vulnerability is such a hard thing to break, especially when it's been passed down from generation to generation. Before, when my kids would cry and were sad, everything in me just felt so awkward and angry, and I just wanted to shut them out. After a year of praying and reading different books and listening to psychology and motivational podcasts, now when my daughter comes to my room in the middle of the night crying because she misses her sister, we both will sit there and cry together and talk about it. As a family dealing with loss, I am always interested in new ways to be a better parent or a better spouse. And if you've lost a child or spouse or a close loved one, in the comments below, please share what you've learned in your experience with grief that has made you a better support for your family. In case you're wondering what books I've been reading and podcasts I've been listening to help me on this path to being a better support for my family, mentally and emotionally, I will leave them in the details below. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you on the next video.